I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us. Thank you for the rain. And we also thank you for all the blessings that you provide us each and every day. Thank you for providing safety for our employees each and every day as well. We just ask that you guide us tonight during this meeting and give safe travels for everyone that leaves here tonight. In thy name we pray, amen. Okay, we have a quorum. Any comments by citizens that are not on the agenda? Braxton?
No.
Okay. Okay, moving on. The next item is approval of minutes from April 13th meeting. Any corrections to those? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Curtis, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kelly. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next item is approval of claims and payroll.
I'll make the motion to approve claims and payroll as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Ron. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rod. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, next item is a CF1 renewal from EP Graphics. So John and Dave, you want to come up here to sit and give us a report on how you guys are doing?
Yeah, I'm Jan Simmons, and I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing with EP Graphics.
Dave's the VP of Finance and Production Services.
Okay.
So, just a general, how we've been doing. I mean, sales have been down a little bit this year, for a couple main reasons. The tariffs did impact us last year. Probably 75% of what we print are catalogs, and a lot of our customers, they had trouble with the tariffs being unpredictable at the time. They were having trouble getting merchandise into the country. A lot of it comes from China, and so with that unpredictability, they cut back on the number of catalogs they printed. Some of them canceled catalogs earlier last year, so that did have an impact on our sales. And the other thing is the post office. I mean, they've increased rates.
Coming again too.
They're coming again in July, and it wasn't so much that they pretty much, the rates kind of stayed flat last year, but it was more they're changing the way they deliver. They did away with some of the major the national distribution centers. They're changing how they handle the mail, and it slowed down delivery quite a bit. I'm sure most of the people here probably knows that mail has been a little bit slower, and it's not at the local level. So that's not we love our local post office. It's more of the big processing centers throughout the country and they're starting to get it together, and delivery is getting better. But most of last year delivery was slow. And what happens is when catalogers, they'll mail a catalog and then they have a set interval when they want to mail their next catalog. Then they don't want to mailing on top of each other. So if this catalog's late, then they'll say, we really don't want to mail another catalog. So that kind of hurt sales a little bit as well. But the good thing is that they're starting to come back. Especially the last month or so, the activity's been a lot better. There's been a lot more optimism with our customers, so we fully intend to, we'll finish strong in the second half of this year.
It's tough to deal with economy, isn't it?
It is. But the nice thing is, I mean, with partnership with the city, with abatements and stuff like that, it allows us to be the low cost producer. So, I mean, we're a national printer. And we feel like, by our geographical location, we can compete with anybody. So we can control our costs probably a little better than most people can.
Are you still known as the busiest post office?
We think we're the second largest in the state of Indiana. The city of Indianapolis is larger.
That's fascinating. Berne, Indiana.
We probably mailed 125 million pieces of mail last year.
How many?
125 million is an
Wow.
estimate. Yeah.
That's busy.
So pretty cool.
2 years ago.
Any other questions for Jan or Dave?
I had a question. After last year's tax abatement, Dave, I think, was here, and Tyler Kit might have been here, and they offered tours and stuff. So I've always been wanting to go do a tour because in my GTE days, I was a project manager over a project where GTE was the first telecommunications company in the United States to duplex print telephone bills.
Oh,
So it was kind of neat at that time. The technology that we had to purchase was actually from Germany. Siemens Nixdorf printers were the first high-speed duplex bill print engines. So I did that back in the early 1990s. So I talked with John, Richard several times. So to look at your print presses and how they run and the number of sheets of paper that fly through those it's just mind-boggling. And I can understand after going on a tour why you guys mail so many pieces from that building. So it's pretty cool. They have their own mail postal office on the kind of south end of the building. And living on East Franklin Street, I see the mail trucks going through there several times, the white box trucks. So it's just mind-boggling, like you said, Rod, here in Berne, Indiana.
yeah, there's an open invitation for anybody that wants to come. So,
And I had mentioned this with Smith Brothers when they were here the other night. EP Graphics has been very gracious. They have worked with the Crossroads Community Organization and have hired some of those gentlemen over the last couple of years. And, I think they've gotten some good employees out. There's a couple that didn't quite make the grade, but, there are at least 2 or 3 that I'm aware of that started either a year and a half or 2 years ago. They're still employed. So thank you guys.
Motion, Mayor?
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion to find them in substantial compliance.
Given the expressing appreciation for your work in the city of Berne and surrounding area, and also in consideration of the economic impact to your industry, I'd like to make a motion that we find EP Graphics in substantial compliance for the CF1.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ron. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you
thank you
both, and appreciate you being here and all the stuff you do for the Berne community, and pass on that to Tyler, if you would, please. Thank you.
Sir, your name again, sir?
Jan Simmons,
Jan Simmons. And your title is?
VP of Sales and Marketing.
Okay, good. Jan Simmons, okay.
Okay, the next item is tax abatement CF1 renewal for Poseidon and Mavco, which is the real estate part of the real estate abatement. And here from Poseidon is Michael Colchin.
Yes,
You're the
sir.
controller.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so go ahead and
Yeah,
give us
so
a report.
2025 was a very strong year for us. Demand's high. Our nation infrastructure is crumbling, as we are all probably aware. So, a lot of projects, rebuilding bridges, roads, things like that are ongoing. You can find Poseidon barge built here in Berne, Indiana, all the way up in northern Alaska, near the Arctic Circle of Canada, all the way down to the sunny beaches of Cancun, Mexico right now. So a wide variety of different projects.
Must be quite interesting, driving a truck to deliver them.
I tried to sign up to go visit that job site, but they wouldn't let me. But we're doing, I would take another 15, 20 welders if we could get them. I know I reported, I believe, 96 head count as of the end of the year. We're actually up to 111 as of this morning.
Where are you finding them?
They're crawling out of the woodwork.
Good for you.
Our HR team does a fantastic job of, keeping their thumb on the employment market. So, constantly evaluating our wages. So right now, entry level is in the mid to upper 20s, with top tier being in the mid to upper 30s. We've also revamped our skill matrix. So as these new people come in, they start checking off procedures, builds. They actually could see a potential quarterly increase, every quarter, instead of kind of waiting for that annual increase to help incentivize these new employees. Excuse me. Also added additional PTO and PTO tiers to help, just make employment at the site as attractive to, all these people in this very fine, small skilled trades employment market. So doing a fantastic job there. Don't have any ICE students currently on the payroll, but I know we've had some interest for some summer help from some high school students. So hopefully this summer we can get a few kids interested in welding in the door and see what we can do with them. But still actively donating some of our scrap materials to the schools, all county schools, Belmont, AC, and South Adams, just so they have plenty of material to practice and beef up on their skills, and hope that we can get some of those guys and gals through the door at a later date. The tax abatements have really been helpful, offsetting some of the costs of some larger CapEx projects. Next time you drive down Parr Road, you may notice some big blue I-beams in our yard. It's our new fall protection and wash station out in the yard to help keep our employees out there working on maintaining our equipment safe. And then this year, we're actually revamping all the fall protection systems within our shop and adding additional fall protection systems that were never in place to begin with. So no matter where the employees working at in the shop, they'll have a place to tie off and be as safe as possible for performing these jobs. So these abatements really help, kind of offset some of those larger expenditures like that. So I know, Mr. Springer, you were in one of the groups that came in about a month ago for a tour. Likewise, if you guys want to come in, feel free. A lot of different robotic automation systems going now. But yeah, feel free to come in and check it out.
Can Mary send us down to that one, and what is it, Bahamas? Cancun?
Yeah, so Mary actually is retired.
Good for her.
She's enjoying that grandma life.
Good for her.
I talk to her every once in a while, try to talk her into coming back, but haven't had any luck.
How long has she been?
She retired last January, so about 14 months.
Okay, good for her.
Yep.
So your employment's up to 111, you said. You said you could use more welders if you could find them. So.
Yep. Yeah, so right now our third shift probably isn't fully staffed, but that would probably be our bulk of our hiring towards third shift, but we definitely got some first shift opportunities open.
With that hiring, are you over 10 million then on salary?
We're probably not quite to that level yet, but definitely up from the, I think it was up to
9.3.
9.3, yeah.
I think you guys have mentioned this before, as far as like entry-level employees, you guys are willing to teach individuals how to weld. I mean, actually, I think I've heard that you guys may prefer to train them yourself and not have to correct any bad habits or habits that they have that you guys don't want in your operation. So is that still
Yes, yep.
the case?
We have two CWIs on staff, certified weld instructors. We'll take anybody that's willing to learn and give them a shot and let them train slowly in our parts department, and hopefully eventually graduate them to building build tables and or casting weld out.
And Amy Tumbleson still kind of there in the HR world?
Yep, she is the director of HR now.
We like having you guys around too.
we hopefully will be here for many years to come.
That's what we say.
Well, the comment that I've heard several times is they can't believe a barge company's in Berne, Indiana.
When I moved to town, it was like, what?
And it's still cool to see them
Yeah.
stacked when you come in from the north.
Yeah, yep. No,
27.
I had no idea when I first, applied for the job, 9 years ago.
Mary was on our board up yonder, and talking with her about barges was very fascinating.
Yeah. We need to do these individually.
You can do them together.
Okay. So I will entertain a motion to approve Poseidon LLC and also Mapco Leasing LLC in substantial compliance.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Kelly, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Wes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I
Okay,
guess I would like to just interject. I'm gonna sound like a broken record tonight. Poseidon has been very open about looking at some of the Crossroads community individuals. I know they have one of the leads on third shift lives in the 700 South Crossroads Community Building, and he talks very highly of working at Poseidon and the number of hours and overtime hours. He's stacking some cash.
Yeah, we're willing to pay if you want to work.
Yeah.
They pretty much, yeah. If you want 12s, 5 days a week, you're more than welcome.
He was telling me your overtime structure, and I wish back when I was an hourly employee, way back when, you had time and a half and then double time at a certain limit or number of hours. I'm like,
Yep.
that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
45 hours is double time, anything after that.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want to work 12s, you can really stack some cash quick.
thanks for being in Berne, and we appreciate everything you do as a corporate citizen.
Yeah, thank
If
you
you
all.
ever need anything, please reach out to us.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next item on the agenda is a new tax abatement for FCC, and Matt Lingo is here representing them. And Dave, I'll let you maybe go through this part of it.
Yeah, just a little explanation. We're not quite sure what all this is going to look like going forward. The Senate enrolled Act 1 last year. Essentially exempts the first $2 million of business personal property from taxes, and it may end up expanding to the place where those go away. We're not sure.
Abatements?
No, personal property taxes in
Okay.
businesses.
Sorry.
So we're kind of unique here on this one. Is this individual is less than 2 million, but at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen 5 years from now. And so we talked about, do we go through the process anyway? And of course, if there's a $2 million exemption, what is exempt? Which of your personal property do you want exempt? So
Well, you said on the first application, right?
it's hard to read. That bill is kind of an interesting bill.
Yeah.
So,
this wouldn't be first application.
well, no, what I'm saying is this is the first one that we've had since that
Okay.
enrolled act. So for that reason, I suggested to Colton Bickle when we were talking, let's go through the process just to make sure that they get it and that they don't get bit if something goes the other way in 5 years. So that's what we're doing here. So you have in front of you the declaratory resolution. The idea would be, if you're so inclined, to pass that this evening. But since this is in the TIF district, we would need to have an RDC meeting for a resolution, and also the scoring at the Board of Public Works meeting. And so the confirming resolution probably wouldn't be until about a month ago from now, the second meeting in May. So I don't know if you have anything to say about what you're doing.
Yeah,
So I can go over kind of some of the things we're doing at FCC. A lot of what you see here is some equipment that we'll be adding. There's some new business from Hitachi Astemo. It's a cooling water jacket, and so we would cast that in our die cast facility. I think our sister plant was going to provide us aluminum stamping that we would then. It's not a welding process, but basically we would conjoin the two pieces together by heating them up. It's similar welding, but not quite. It's a little different. And then there's some machining involved with all of that. Basically, it's a water jacket that cools like a computer unit. So it's producing heat. The water jacket would allow water to flow through it, but not have water get into that computer module. It's kind of our effort to get outside the clutch module world without jumping into the EV market. So, our stance is probably EVs at some point are coming, but we don't want to invest too heavily into that. And there's some companies that did that are not so fortunate. So it's just kind of a way for us to get outside the clutch business a little bit there. The other big expense that's on there, there's a 1,650 ton die cast machine in the furnace and all the other items that come with that. So right now we have we're close to 30 die cast machines that we have in our facility right now, probably a little under that. Those range from 350 tons, 500 tons, and 800 tons. And as we've been looking at some business that's outside of the clutch module world, we found that a lot of what's being thrown our way is for larger die cast machines that we don't have. And so the 1,650 ton would allow us then to be able to quote some of that business and potentially bring that in-house. And then most of the rest of what's on there is just updating current equipment that's kind of aged and needs replaced. So that's the bulk of what's in our investments for this year.
So this is all inside the scope of current footprint of the buildings,
Yeah.
just expanding service.
Yeah, so, and I'll touch on it when we have our CF1 also. So the business that started FCC Adams, it was a 6R80 program for Ford. Just 2 or 3 weeks ago, we made our last shipment on that product. And so now we're starting to take some of that equipment out and we're going to have some room. And then at the end of this year, beginning of next year, there's another program. It's a 6R140 for Ford. That's going to be the end of its life also. So we have a couple of programs that are going away, which they've lasted longer than we ever thought that they would. So it wasn't a huge surprise that they're going out. And while those are going away, our 10-speed business is picking up. We've got some increase, I guess they call them uplifts to those orders. So while some's going away, we're gaining some and then bringing in some new business on top of that.
How many FCCs are there?
In the world or in US? There are 4 manufacturing locations. So there's 2 plants in North Carolina, one in Portland, and then this one here. And then we have a sales group up in Detroit, which is technically an office, but they're not a manufacturing facility. I'm glad you didn't ask me worldwide, because I don't know if I know.
That's okay.
I would have said a lot.
Okay, any other questions for Matt?
I know we'll go through this during the scoring process and everything, but jumping ahead of the scorecard, so it's like a $1.7 million investment.
So the resolution's 2026-4-1.
And you're looking for a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll entertain a motion
I'll make that
for
motion.
26-4-1, which was just made by Ron. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Curtis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
We have a copy that needs
Keep
signed.
doing your good things.
We're gonna try.
Thanks, Matt, for
Thank you.
everything.
Yep, appreciate it.
I know there's still more to finalize this, but
Yeah.
it's a step closer.
Yep, absolutely.
Need signed.
Thanks so much.
Just one.
And that, how many employees do you have here in Berne?
Right now we have 470.
Wow. How many in Portland? Why is that there?
That's a good question. I know they have more than we do, but what that number is on,
I've seen the big place, gigantic.
yeah, they're, from a square footage standpoint, we're larger.
We're up four.
We have more
Yeah.
power.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
South Carolina or North Carolina?
North Carolina, 2 in North Carolina. That's 10 miles apart.
I know.
Well, I guess there's some benefit to that. They can transfer people. Oh, yeah. Everything is signed.
Yeah, just one.
And EP graphics.
You get this one. All right, next item is, a no parking zone request. You need to sign too. For 1230 Parkway Street, and our chief is here. And Brad, if you want to just explain kind of what precipitated this request so they understand why.
So, most of you, as you know, when they have a high school baseball game, there's a lot of people there. And there's a lot of vehicles parked there. It's not uncommon for them to park on the north side of Parkway Street by the fire station. But I think it was 3 weeks ago, there was a game, and I think we had a run. Might have been before the game, but anyhow, there was 2 vehicles that parked. If you can picture where our mailbox is, it's not that long, but you get about 2 cars in there, and there was vehicles parked there. So when there's vehicles parked on the north side and the south side, and we're trying to come out of the building that way, it makes it pretty tight. And so that's when, I approached the idea of if we could just keep those 2 spots by the mailbox from parking, the north side we can deal with. But when you get both, it gets tight.
Can't you just get a run and start?
We could. Hey, we could. Trust me, there'd be guys that would.
Then you have to wash the truck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So basically, we're suggesting, I guess, to where the red circle is, that area be classified as a no parking zone, along with the area, I guess, on the east of the driveway as well, although there's a yellow, that curb's painted yellow anyway, but I think we were gonna include it where we did.
Yeah, because it's painted yellow, but it's not really in our ordinance, so
Yeah.
we'd come all the way from the intersection back to the parking.
Back to the mailboxes, yeah.
In the interest of public safety, I'll make a motion to approve the request.
What you need to do is have me bring an ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then I'll adjust that to request our attorney to bring an ordinance to the next meeting to be approved.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to request Dave to prepare an ordinance for our next meeting in regard to the no parking zone. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Wes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Sorry, Dave, it's only been 6 years.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, any attorney comments?
No.
Clerk treasurer comments?
I have 2. So I did the Monroe calculation for the rates for this wastewater. And so the new rate for 2026, and the letters went out to them the last week. Today's Monday. So it's $1.60. So 1.6641 is the new rate for them. for May to April.
What was the old?
The old one was 1.443.
That's for how much usage or 1,000?
Yeah, 1,000, yes.
1,000 gallons,
Mhm.
okay. 1,000 gallons.
And then the other thing that, I don't know where this came up, but we had talked about the Trex system. I don't know if you guys remember, we put in place. So we put it in place last year, but you don't start collecting it until tax time because it's collected through Indiana state taxes. So we had, I don't remember how many people were on the list, but we actually had 4 matches of funds. And how it works is they send a letter, once it's been matched, they send a letter out to the individuals saying how much their amount they owe us. And then if they come in and pay us within 30 days, there's no fee. If they wait, then it's an extra $25. So the amount we have collected so far is $1,215.50. And actually someone came in that was matched, came in and paid their account in full today. So it is working. So I just wanted to let you guys know what has been collected on there.
Awesome.
Those would have normally have been written off.
Yes.
Good.
So the only con to the system is that we can only collect if they have a refund. So that's the only downfall I've seen so far.
Okay, anything else, Cal?
No, that's all I have.
Other mayor comments, again, I'll just say that the crew that's in town doing our sewer project keeps progressing and hopping from one spot to another. And they're getting a lot done every week. So I don't think I have anything else. Council comments?
I wanted to give a shout out. I had the opportunity this morning. One of the hats I wear in my Boys and Girls Club Board of Directors role is I'm the Safety Committee Chair for our organization. So as a part of that, we've worked very closely over the last 3 years to try and put emergency plans and procedures in place similar to what the schools do, so that when the kids come to the clubs after school, the terms that we're using are similar. So Earl Huff from our Berne Police Department is the school resource officer at South Adams, and he invited me and another one of our safety committee members to kind of shadow and watch. They had a lockdown test this morning at school. So I was actually in the school when the lockdown went. And it's just really impressive how much time and the technology and the procedures the schools have put into this, and to see it tested. I mean, it took them about an hour to go through the process, but they learned a few things going through the testing, which is why you test. And I just think we're really fortunate to have school administrations and police officers like Earl Huff and Doug Beal at the school who, put a lot of time and energy into this. And all 3 of the school systems in Adams County are very well connected to one another. So the procedures aren't exactly the same, but they're very similar. So it was very impressive.
Any other comments?
Just a reminder about citywide garage sales.
Pardon?
May 7th. May
Yeah,
7th.
citywide garage sales, May 7th through the May 9th.
They do not need a permit for those.
Right,
So
yeah, no
they do
permits
not need
needed.
to come into City Hall.
Please, and sign up at the Berne Chamber office. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Hey.
Where is the mailbox? Right from the building?